Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have two more Mother's Day DIY gift ideas for you guys that I came up with out of Dollar Tree materials, and I'm really excited to show you what I came up with. The first one is a wreath that I used a heart shape from the Dollar Tree that I got around Valentine's Day, and I always end up with like leftover things from previous seasons that I buy and then I never make anything with it, but then I do like for another holiday. So this is a good example of like reusing something that I got last season. And I made a little sign for the middle out of foam board and some of the wooden letters that you can get at Dollar Tree. And then the second one is a gift basket, which it contains like chocolate and wine. The chocolate I got at the Dollar Tree. Obviously they don't sell wine at the Dollar Tree, but I feel like wine is something that you kind of gift for like holidays like Mother's Day all the time. If you have a loved one that really enjoys wine, you would obviously use wine, but you can also just swap it with like coffee and just do like a really cool like gourmet coffee of some kind, or even like a tea or like a favorite beverage or even like a hot cocoa. So those are just like really commonly gifted items like the chocolate and wine, but where I put the personal touch and the DIY part is the basket itself. I really love how it turned out. I used some of the flowers from the Dollar Tree, and then my favorite thing are those chalkboard tags. They're so adorable and they have like a heart shape on them. So they were just like absolutely perfect. They're like little labels you can get in the craft section. So I can't wait to show you guys all the steps and all the pictures. So let's get right into the video. So the first thing I'm going to do is take one of these flower baskets. They're super cute, and I'm going to cover up that sign that it says like flowers and garden. I'm going to cover that up with a bow, and this is my favorite type of ribbon. I love this ribbon so much, so I'm going to use some of that ribbon and I'm going to make a bow just big enough to cover most of the letters, and then we'll attach flowers later to cover up the rest of the letters.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know.
Next, I'm going to be cutting the flowers, and you could like pluck them out of their stem, but I wanted to use some of the green too, so instead I cut them. Don't recommend using a scissors like that because it will break, it will ruin the scissors, but if you have like wire cutters, it's probably ideal. I didn't have any wire cutters, so I just used the scissors, but I mean, they're only $1, who cares if that they're ruined. And then I glued them on to the basket, and just trying to get rid of that like signage at the front. Make sure that you hold them in place. Sometimes I get impatient with my glue and it hasn't dried yet, and I just leave them there and then they start falling off. Very important to like hold them in place for a little bit until the glue dries. And then I have one of those tags, and I'm trying to figure out the best place to put it. So I will figure that out later. But for now, this is pretty much all that's needed for the flowers in this step. And we're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're going to make a bow, glue it down with hot glue, and then glue down the other flowers that are left on that stem.
If I will ever figure out where the road goes, even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs.
Then I wrote Mom Juice on one of these tags with a Dollar Tree chalk marker, and I made a little bow to cover up that hole out of jute twine. And I also glued it onto a skewer, which I forgot to show, just so that I could stick it into the basket easily. Next, I'm adding my wine, and then I'm also adding some of this like filler. I think it's for gift bags, like a gift bag filler that I got at Dollar Tree. And then I'm adding my bottles of wine, and then I'm adding my candy, and that's pretty much it. Also, just to keep it together, you can just use some of the cellophane that you get at Dollar Tree to just wrap it up.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.
Next, I'm taking one of these hearts that I got around Valentine's Day, and I'm taking everything off of it, and that will leave me with just a shape of just a heart, so I can put like flowers on it. This was really easy to remove, super quick. Next, I'm taking some of these flowers. I got around like 10 bunches of these flowers from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to pluck off the flower part, and I'm counting to make sure I have enough. And I'm also I got some mixture of pink and white. I recommend just getting one color unless you really want to do the white and the pink, but I did like a strand of white in the middle, and then I did pink all around it. So that's kind of how I went about it, but only because I didn't have enough pink flowers. So to attach the flowers, all I did was actually just glue the frame. I put the glue around the frame, and then I just pressed the flower down onto that frame, and that made it secure. So I just went around and did this throughout the entire frame.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs.
Now for my sign, I'm going to be using foam board, and I'm just taking a little piece that I'm going to use, and I just want it to be big enough for the letters. I'm going to spell out mom in front of it, and I'm going to use just the wooden letters that come from Dollar Tree. I use 2 packets because there's only 1 M in a single packet, and then I'm just going to cut it using this paper cutter thing. I don't know if that's the best way. I think a craft knife might be better. I had a craft knife too, but I think maybe I just needed to like somehow keep it straighter, but I made it work. I used both the scissors, the craft knife, and this paper cutter.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
Once my foam board is cut, I am going to use some paint and a sponge. I'm cutting a little bit of a sponge off. I learned this method from the Peppermint Cactus. It's like a blog, Facebook group, YouTube channel. I can link it down below. But they have all kinds of foam board tutorials, and it's all about how to make it look kind of like wood and like distressed wood. So what I just did was I just put some holes in the foam board to give it some kind of distressing, and now I'm doing some paint. This is the Waverly actually antique wax, and then I'm following on top of it with the chalk paint and ink, and then using the clear wax on top of that, and eventually all 3 colors kind of blend together. You can kind of go like heavier or lighter with one or the other as you like it, but it ends up giving it this nice look, kind of like distressed wood or faux distressed wood.
Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky
Next, I'm just painting the letters, the wooden letters, and I'm using a pink color. The color is actually called Ballet Slipper. Next, I'm just gluing my letters onto my sign.
Life is a winding road.
Next, I'm just tying a little bit of string. What I'm going to do with this is just use the back of the wreath. I'm going to pull the tails of the string through to the end, to the back of the wreath, and then I'm going to tie it in the back.
No telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights. Won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if
Next, I'm going to make an easy bow just by cutting up about 6 of those equal length strands off of the ribbon, and then I'm just going to hold them together loop them and hold them together while I tie it with a zip tie and loop a pipe cleaner through the zip tie to make it easier to attach.
let me figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down.
And it's just a matter of fluffing it out and then attaching it to the wreath. And that's pretty much it for this DIY. It does require quite a bit of fluffing and making it all pretty, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get